So last week I said if Palantir could not get back above 183, then look for a continuation down to 176. And if that level breaks, then look for a further pullback to 169. Take a listen. The next stock is Palantir, ticker symbol PLTR. So at the time of this recording, Palantir is now losing support at 183. If the stock cannot get back above this level, then look for a continuation down to 176. And if that level breaks, then look for a further pullback to 169. Now looking at the current chart, you guys can see that my analysis on Palantir stock was 100% accurate. Moving on, so yesterday I said if HIMS could not stay above 44.20, then look for a pullback to 42.80. Take a listen. So current support for HIMS is going to be at 44.20. If the stock cannot stay above this level, then look for a 5% pullback to 42.80. So looking at the current chart, you guys can see that HIMS did fail to stay above 44.20 and ended up crashing to my price target at 42.80. So once again, you guys can all see that my analysis was 100% accurate. Now, 2 weeks ago, I also gave you guys my analysis on ticker symbol SMCI, which was 100% accurate. And I said if the stock could not stay above $55 per share, then look for a pullback to $50. And if that level breaks, then look for a further pullback to $44. Take a listen. So current support for SMCI is at $55 per share. If buyers cannot keep the price above this level, then look for a 13% pullback to $50. And if that level breaks, then we're looking at a 23% pullback to $44. Now, today, the Nasdaq QQQs was down more than 1.3%, and the S&P 500 was down 0.54%. With that said, for the Nasdaq QQQs, I'm looking for a 12 to 20% pullback to 495 and then to 450. And for the S&P 500, I'm looking for a 10 to 17% pullback to fill these gaps down below. Despite any temporary bounce, I am overall bearish on the markets. Now, despite today's market pullback, Intel stock was up over 6% after a $2 billion investment from SoftBank. Take a listen.
Shares of Intel soaring today after this $2 billion investment from SoftBank. It comes as the Trump administration considers at least a 10% stake in the chipmaker. Our Christina Partsenevelos has the latest in today's Tech Check. What a busy day on your beat, KP.
Yeah, it's been a busy few years, which is great for me. But let's talk about Intel because it is getting a $2 billion lifeline from SoftBank. And shareholders really need to understand what this means for their investment. It's not so black and white. SoftBank would be buying roughly 2% of the company. Intel tells me last night it's a primary issuance, meaning that new shares would come to market and fresh capital. But that also does mean stock dilution. And yet shares are up because investors really see SoftBank's backing as more than just money. It's credibility that could attract other institutions and AI partnerships through SoftBank's OpenAI and ARM connections, for example. Intel, like you said, has also had talks with the Trump administration about a potential 10% government stake using CHIPS Act funding. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick confirmed on CNBC this morning that the plan wouldn't give the U.S. voting rights, even though it could make the federal government Intel's largest shareholder. Here's Lutnick's explanation about the government stake. Listen in.
What is in it for the American taxpayer? And the answer Donald Trump has is we should get an equity stake for our money. So we'll deliver the money, which was already committed under the Biden administration. We'll get equity in return for it, get a good return for the American taxpayer instead of just giving grants away.
This is the part where I say it's not all black and white. I was talking to Wedbush's Matt Bryson, and he raises a critical concern. If the U.S. owns 10% of Intel, the government won't let the company make decisions that are best for shareholders. Intel couldn't move production to Taiwan Semiconductor or divest fabs to optimize profitability, even if that's the smartest business move. Bryson calls it a, quote, raw deal. Intel went from getting grants with minimal strings to potentially giving up 10% ownership for the same money. Meanwhile, competitors like TSMC and Samsung get grants without any equity stakes. SoftBank's investments bring strategic value, no doubt, but potential government ownership creates a fundamental conflict between U.S. manufacturing interest and what's actually best for Intel shareholders, guys.
Now, going into the rest of the video, I have some important levels for you guys to watch on Palantir, ticker symbol PLTR, Intel, ticker symbol INTC, and HIMS, ticker symbol HIMS. Let's begin with Palantir, ticker symbol PLTR. So current support for Palantir is going to be at 153. And if that level breaks, then look for a pullback to 150. Now, if 150 fails to hold as support, then look for a further pullback to 147. And from today's closing price, that would be a pullback of 6%. Overall, to the downside, I'm looking for Palantir to pull back to 131. Now to the upside, if Palantir stock can stay above 153, then I want you guys to look for a run back to 161. And if buyers can get the stock above 161, then look for a run to 169. Now let's take a look at HIMS, ticker symbol HIMS. So today the stock was down over 6% and is now losing support at 42.80. If the stock cannot get back above this level, then look for a continuation down to 40.70. And if that level breaks, then look for a further pullback to 38.20. From current price, we're looking at a decline of 9%. Now to the upside, if the stock can recover and get back above 42.80, then I want you guys to look for a run back to 44.20. And if buyers can break above this level, then look for a run to 46.60. The next stock is Intel, ticker symbol INTC. So current support for Intel is at 24.77. If the stock cannot stay above this level, then look for a 5% pullback to $24. And if that level breaks, then look for a further pullback to $22.90. And from current price, we're looking at a decline of 9%. Now to the upside, if Intel stock can stay above current support at 24.77, then look for a 3% run back to 26.27. And if buyers can break above this level, then look for a 11% run to 28.34. Now, if we go ahead and take a look at Intel's chart on the weekly time frame, we can see that the stock is currently breaking out of a bullish wedge pattern. With that said, my price target for the stock is going to be at $38. And from current price, we're looking at a return of over 50%. Alright guys, if you like today's video, go ahead and leave a thumbs up. And if you'd like more accurate price predictions, then consider subscribing to the channel. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.